Hello everybody. I made a video about my metric thread cutting technique and how I clean this lay with compressed air. In my endeavor to make a video on my lead screw nut that I made for this thing, I discovered that I was right about the compressed air, not to use compressed air. I was being a little sarcastic when I said don't use compressed air on it. You know, I honestly didn't think it was hurting anything until I pulled this off, and this is what I discovered. You see all that black? I got another rag somewhere. Oh, there, yeah, there it is. You could feel that on your fingers. As long as I was wiping it with a rag out here, you couldn't feel anything. But and I'm not done cleaning. I still got to clean the lead screw. The lead screw ain't so bad. It's not so bad, but so hell, I took this cover off to check out to see if I could change these gears around the cut metric threads, and there was grit. All that grit you see in there was all over them gears. I had done wiped these gears and stuff down and cleaned them, and I got it. They got it re-oiled and stuff and everything. So anyway, so I got a vacuum cleaner out of my house. I'll just buy me a new one and use this from now on. I'm pretty sure that won't blow grit in there. That I guess that damn compressed air, even though I wasn't blowing steady on it, it was just enough pressure to blow it in there, because there was grit all in here, up anywhere it was exposed. It was in. Anyway, well, Bob, you know what? Don't use compressed air. Keep this thing wiped down. Follow your manual or whatever. And I'll listen to the experts. They know what they're talking about. Anyway, I found that kind of interesting. They wasn't lying about the grit. Okay. Now on with the video. I made a lead screw nut. The first thing you want to do is learn how to measure Acme thread. I laid that caliper up there on the peaks, and I counted 6 threads per inch. I counted the 2 threads that was on the very end that the caliper was touching, and the 4 in the middle, and I called that 6 threads per inch. It's 5 threads per inch. The 2 threads on the end count as half threads, and then the 4 in the middle, so you get it. You basically, what I'm trying to tell you is count the threads in the middle and just add 1. That's how you measure threads per inch. Say it one more time. Count the threads in the middle and add 1. That's on Imperial lead screws. So my first attempt, I cut this thing out of some stock I had. Shaped it up, cut my outside dimensions and everything on this mini mill. That's a little machine shop mini mill. I've had that thing for a while, and I make a lot of stuff on that, and it does good. As you can see, that thing turned out nice. I was proud of it. Well, when I cut my threads and everything, they wouldn't work. I didn't understand why. Well, the threads wouldn't work. I was trying to cut 6 threads per inch instead of 5. So I didn't know what was going on. So I bored it out way big so I could get a better view of what's going on. And I cut the threads. Well, I discovered that my homemade cutter that I had, I made this out of a wore out end mill. And I made it to fit perfect in there. Well, that's not deep enough. So I went and cut it deeper and cut me another piece. Wasted all that time making this and everything, and I cut them things plenty deep enough. I'm talking about, look, it just goes in there and everything. You know, no reason why that won't work. It wouldn't work. I got aggravated and split the top of it with a hacksaw. I mismarked my hole and made the hole too high and cut in the top. So I was like, dang. Thought that was the issue, and still wasn't sure about this and all. I was using it like that for a little bit, but I didn't like it. I wanted to find out what was wrong. So I watched that. Like I said, I watched that Ox Tool video, and he explained how to measure it. I'm like, set the machine on 5 threads per inch. And just to make sure I wasn't going to have no mistakes on my third attempt, I bought me a brand new cutter, carbide cutter. And that was like over $125 for that thing, made in USA. And rather than waste any more material just in case that didn't work, I went to Ace Hardware. I got some 3/4 inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe and Schedule 40 1/2 inch pipe. I bored the 3/4 out and fit the 1/2 inch in and glued it. Then I used that brand new thread on this PVC pipe, and let me get it in there. Come on. There we go. It worked. So I got comfortable with that. I'm like, well, that's all I wanted. I wanted the thing to screw on. That worked perfect. If I cut that end off, you can see up in there, that's what that looks like after I glued it and everything. Bored that 3/4 out, and I'll make this thing thick enough. So that worked there. This right here was my second attempt with the with my original cutter. I'm trying to find out what was going on. I cut that and threaded it, and I took a hacksaw and that's what I come up with. There's the threads from the original cutter. There's the threads for the new one. And the reason these threads are shaped like that because these threads are wore out. Anyway, like I said, I cut that thing in there. Took that up, put it up there, and look. That's when I knew I was cutting the wrong threads. So well, that explains all that. So basically, I wasted money on this because how I know is when I had to make a couple of spring passes on that because it was working, but it was just a little tight. I wanted to free it up just a little bit, and I had this thing turning. I don't know how many RPM. I think I was cutting 153. She was turning, and I put it back in the forge jaw there, and I missed my my mark over here on the thread dial. I was engaging it up in there, so when it fully engaged, it'd be right there. Well, I let that thing get a little too close, and she engaged over here, and I couldn't get to the switch in time to she got in there and broke. I'm like, Dad, blame it. So I had to put this back in and set everything up and make my spring passes with this, and it worked. Works good. So it anyway. So lessons I learned on this deal: learn how to measure Acme thread. Use cheap material. Make prototype parts and all, and use cheap stuff so you can save money and everything. And make sure you get that in the right position before you throw it in. And I guess that's all I got to say about that. This is the original there. You see the threads is paper thin. I was scared to use the power feed on the cross slide. Wasn't gonna be able to make any heavy cuts with it like that and all, and everything. Because if I lost them threads there, I wouldn't have. I would have had to borrow my brother's lathe over there, and or have him do it. I didn't want to aggravate him about that or pester him about it, and all. And made me some notes. The bolt that holds that on is or Whitmore, what they use over in the UK, and I didn't have a tap for that, so I had to use a 7/16 by 20 tap, but other than that, that's the only thing different. This thing's got a oiler on it, which is nice, but all you got to do is feed the cross slide over and just take your little oil squirter and squirt in there and everything. Keep that stuff for souvenir. I sure hate I broke that. But like I said, I still got that right there. That cheap stuff is your friend. I keep that so if I ever get ready to make another one, I can and I lose my notes, at least I got that. I cut that with the mini mill and just took a file, hand filed it. Wasn't wasting no more time on it. And that looks good enough for girls I go out with. I will talk to y'all later.